Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel, where tonight it is the match preview between Newcastle United and Manchester City. Game coming thick and fast, Mr. Harrison.
Certainly are. Every couple of minutes.
We last spoke making a preview about the Liverpool game.
Yeah,
and we all know how that went, but I haven't had a chance to speak to you since then. So, what was your opinion of that?
Liverpool. I mean, it was the Mike Dean show, wasn't it? You know, it was it was shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, and to add to that, though, Paul, today there was a. Take my glasses off. Sorry, mate. That's better. There was it the Leeds game. Ball went into the penalty box. Guy got whacked on the back with the ball. Went down, put his head on his hands, and they said, "Oh, stop the game." And
the referee immediately stops it. Yeah, no problem.
All he was doing was just stretching his back because he'd been hit in the middle of the back. You're thinking, well, so yeah, okay, fair point that the guy had his hands on his head. So the referee immediately stops it. That idiot the other day, and I won't, you know, I'm not a great one to swear, but that idiot just said, "Oh no, he was holding his back." He wasn't.
Look, I mean, a lot of people have said that Hayden was, feigning an injury to try and, stop the Liverpool attack. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. What is relevant is the fact that it was a suspected head injury. You have to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
And, Jermaine Jean is making stupid comments saying, oh, well, he didn't know how serious the head injury was. Exactly.
That's the point. That's the very point. Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. So we get screwed over. And every time that Mike Dean, the Newcastle fans were singing Mike Dean, it's all about you, right? He's making little head signals as if he's taking the piss out of us Newcastle fans.
Because he loves it. He wants to be the centre of attention all the time. Yeah. He loves all that type of thing. And I read a stat on Twitter now. I have no idea whether it's true. Others in the chat may be able to come up with it. But this guy on Twitter said all the matches he's refereed with Liverpool, he's never, ever given them the opposition a penalty against Liverpool. Now, that might just be because the opposition don't get into, into their box very often. But nevertheless, if true, it's one hell of a bloody stat. But of course, he did wave. I mean, again, somebody put on Twitter yesterday or the day before where he gave a little wave to the crowd, which was his two sons, of course, sitting in their season ticket seats.
Well, of course,
and I mean, and I put on a thing as others had, about how bad it was, and somebody said, "Do you remember when Clattenburg used to referee us?" No, me neither. Never happened. So you just got to think. Well,
it's interesting because I got told at Anfield on Thursday night that he's also got shares in the club.
Never really.
Yeah. Oh, so it makes you very, very, very suspicious about. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Listen, I've never been one for this. All this, saying about
infamy. They've all got it infamy.
Yeah, I've never been one for like all this conspiracy theory and stuff like that. That the officials are working for the Premier League to get us down. But you look at the refereeing performances over the last 3 or 4 games, and they've been absolutely ridiculously dreadful. Where everything has, you look at that penalty that Arsenal got against West Ham last week.
Exactly the same.
Very, very similar to Fraser. I think I said Wilson on my video, but it was Fraser. And yes, he got a tiny touch on the ball, but it was the way that he won the ball.
Yeah.
Now, is there any difference to that tackle to the tackle that Arsenal got a penalty from?
No, none whatsoever. I mean, I've looked both of them about 5 or 6 times each, and I can see virtually no difference. I think with the Arsenal one, his foot was a little bit further forward than it was with the Newcastle one, and he caught his leg, and so the referee decided it was. Ours, they say he's touched the ball, but if you look at the red dots, as somebody else on Twitter said, they don't turn. The ball just keeps rolling. So he didn't divert the ball in any shape or form. He may have touched it. I'll grant him that begrudgingly. But he didn't put it away for Wilson, and so I just don't get it. And then, later on in the game, as you said in your thing this afternoon, one of their players goes down with a leg injury. Immediately the game stopped.
Well, we were fuming about that.
Yeah, how come
the
that's
crowd
allowed?
went ballistic, Dave, when that happened, because we're thinking, right, As soon as he's gone down clutching his ankle, Mike Dean has blown up immediately.
Yeah.
Now, there was plenty of time for Mike Dean to blow up way before that cross came in. Now, I'm not saying that the Newcastle lads should have switched off or anything like that. The marking was abysmal, etc. We know that.
Yeah,
However, when it comes to Jota, he is right next to where Hayden is down, holding his head. So how is Mike Dean not aware that there is a serious head injury there? That, if he's feigning it, he's feigning it. It doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that he didn't know at the time if he was feigning it. He's got a head injury. You blow the sodden whistle.
Yeah, and Madison didn't feign a foul for the last penalty. Well, he did.
Exactly.
He was doing a bloody Superman or a Spider-Man impression before his leg was moved to hit Lascelles. So no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I know we get accused of being paranoid, and I know I'm not a one for conspiracy theories. There are hundreds of thousands out there, but you've got to look at it and say over the last 4 or 5 games, we've got absolutely nothing from the officials. Now
you have to start thinking something is
something's up. No, absolutely, you've got to.
But, Nigel says, I don't expect any of our games postponed prior to transfer market opening to the Premier League. That will be seen as an advantage to Newcastle. Also, I don't expect any help from the refs or officials. Kendo is very optimistic for tomorrow. Looking forward to smashing Man City in a shock 4-1 to us.
That'll do. I'll take that, Kendo.
Good evening, Ronald. Kendo will have a bit of what you're drinking. White spirits and high spirits, definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt. Massive changes tomorrow, mark my words. The clue was in-house rotation comments. I'm expecting Clark and Richie in. ASM and Willock out with Miggy playing behind Wilson and Fraser Murphy out wide. Well, ASM's out anyway. I think he's injured, as is Jamal Lewis. So he's going to have to make changes anyway. But with regards to Joe Willock, Dave, I don't know whether you caught my video, my comments about him just walking straight off the pitch at Anfield.
Yeah. I mean, that was disgraceful.
When the players were warming up, all the fans were singing about every single player warming up, and when their name was mentioned, the player would wave to the crowd or clap them. Nothing from Willock when he was getting sang. And then at the end of the game, he just looked over, didn't even clap once, and went straight down the tunnel. Now, every other single Newcastle United player, to the credit, and coaching staff came right up to where we were and stood there applauding us for about 2 or 3 minutes, which is what you want to see. You want to see that camaraderie between the fans and the players. And, whatever we thought, I thought the lads, I said it in my video, I thought the lads battled their asses off on Thursday night. Not, don't get us wrong, there was a couple of players who just weren't at the races on Thursday night, but the team as a whole, you cannot fault their effort. They were absolutely fantastic. And yes, we lost, but they came over, they applauded us, we sang back to them, and it felt like something nice, But Willock, straight off the pitch. What is going on with him, Dave?
I don't know. And I think, as I said on the last video, that if you lose, it's the way you lose. And we didn't lose badly. We played, as you rightly say. I don't know with Willock. I mean, there's a few people have said on Twitter and other social media outlets saying that he was, and I mean, I think I said it myself in one of the previous shows, that was he playing for a new contract at Arsenal? And then when he realised Arsenal weren't going to do it, he was going to sit, in the reserves or whatever for the next year or so. Did he think, well, the only thing I can do is go to Newcastle, which is where he went? That may or may not be the case. We don't know that. But he for whatever reason, whether he's not enjoying Eddie's and the coach and staff's way of doing things, or whether he's just lost, he's the old saying, he's get up and goes, got up and went. He's not the player we saw in the last however many games it was.
Well,
last
a lot
season.
of people, Dave, are saying that he was playing for, are now starting to think he was playing for his Arsenal contract.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, absolutely.
It's. I agree with you, and I think that a lot of people are right what they say, because he hasn't played well at all this season, not once.
No,
has he? And his body language was wrong when he was warming up on Thursday night, sulking as if he'd been, because he was back on the bench. And also when he came on, his body language was wrong. Now, there was a couple of players, as I said on Thursday night, Dave, who didn't perform. I thought Hayden was dreadful again. And Cher was off. He had a bad game on Thursday. His passing was dreadful. But Hayden, especially, I mean, only having to pass a yard, and he wasn't, he couldn't even do that.
Well, that's right. I mean, I think with players, as I've said before, talent will never go away, but form varies, and I've seen that in your trolls. I've seen that in all sorts of sports, including mine. Where somebody just has an off half a season, whatever, they'll always come back and they do really, really well. But talking about Hayden, I think that he's again, he could be one who's not enjoying the new regime. I mean, training, 15 hours a day and 10 days a week, whatever they're doing, but they are obviously training a lot more because they do look fitter, they do look sharper. I think the Liverpool game showed that we matched them. Seen that. I'm not just move on. But I think for me, Willock, I mean, we've all said it was a bit like Kennedy was it Kennedy a year ago, who was stunning in his half season. And then his second season, he was atrocious. I mean, he wasn't even a good player. But at the end of the day, Paul, what I can't get my head around, all right, he had a strop on because he was dropped. Well, you know what, Bonnie lad? That's what comes with not playing well. You don't make the team if you're not playing well. And you should understand that you haven't got a God-given right to be in the team. You need to have consistency and good consistency. He hasn't done that, so he didn't deserve a starting lineup. So what's Eddie Howe going to do? Bring him on and then take him off after 10 minutes? That's worse. So he's got to learn, as a few others have got to learn, that rotation is going to happen, and you're not given it. You've got to work your backside off in training and prove to everybody you're an asset the team can't do without. And at the minute, he's not doing that.
I mean, the worry for me, Dave, is what we do tomorrow. I mean, we've got a monumental task ahead of ourselves tomorrow. Obviously, absolutely. Manchester City, and the thing is, we've got Jamal Lewis out, which means Richie's going to be left back. There's no issue about that. That's going to happen. Dummett's still out injured. He's probably going to play the same two centre backs because obviously Fernandez is injured, and Clark. If he plays Clark against Man City, then God help us all. Like I say, Cher had a poor game Thursday, but I would still stick with him. I think he's the best defender we've got available at the minute.
I would.
But it's the midfield that concerns me, Dave. I mean, Shelvey, he gave the ball away for their second goal. And what I did like was credit to him. He came out after the game in an interview and said, look, that was my fault. Hands up. But he did score a fantastic opening goal, which, that was worth the trip down there just for the scenes in the away end when that went in. I mean, I threw somebody that was quite considerably older than me. He jumped on me to give me a hug, and I just lifted him above my head and threw him somewhere. I didn't see him for the rest of the game, so I don't know where he ended up. It must have been about 5 rows back.
Probably in St. John's ambulance.
Well, it was just scenes. And those are the kind of things that you always remember when you go to away games. And, all the lads around us, there was some young lads behind us. There were one lad recognised us from the channel, and he was like, young lads, but great crack. And, that's what the away games are. They're great crack with everybody, and we had a good laugh. But what does he do with the midfield tomorrow, Dave? I mean, do we see him drop Joe Linton back into the middle and maybe stick with Hayden and Shelvey?
I think he probably has to. I mean, I don't know what is, I presume Mankey will be playing at one side, and I don't know where he would put Clark in. Would he put him on the other side? And then potentially have Richie, Hayden, and another. I haven't really thought about it that much, to be honest with you, because at the minute, I still don't think we've got the depth of squad, and I just don't think, the players we've got they'll get there. There's no doubt about it. But are they good enough to stay if we get new signings in the midfield? So I would say that you've got to play Hayden, you've got to play Shelvey. It's who you put alongside them. Do you leave Almiron in, or do you bring Willock back in? Personally, I would rather say Almiron in, because I think he offers more at the moment than Willock, although he hasn't got a lot of his end product, a bit like ASM, isn't very good. So that's what I'll be doing, and I would have Wilson up front. Neil letting the side down. I know. Yeah, we'll let him off. We'll let him off. But it's it's a difficult one, because if we had a 25-man squad that was actually 25 players, which we all know it isn't, what do you do? So it's a really difficult one because, and as we've said before, Paul, that's what Eddie gets the big bucks for.
He does,
he's
but
gonna,
I'm not sure he got it right leaving Wilson out on Thursday night. I didn't quite understand that.
I
know he's booking away from a suspension, but Liverpool and Manchester City, to be fair, does it really matter which one he missed?
No,
really. ASM, he frustrates the shit out of me, Dave. He really does.
He does with me. Yeah,
there was an opportunity where I think it was still in the first half where it was 1-1. He went back up the other end just after they'd equalised, and he took a few players on, and then he had a shot which Alisson saved down to his right. But he could have laid that off to 2 or 3 other players who were in much better positions for shots.
Just what I was going to say, Paul. You had a chance to offload that a couple of dribbles earlier, left or right, and then he could have kept on with his running in the middle, and they could have pinged it back to him, and he might have scored, or one of the others might have scored. And that's the frustrating part about it. But having said that, again, somebody, I think it was Jade, said on Twitter, is that ASM out at Christmas again? And apparently he hasn't played any Christmas games. Now, stats is not my thing, but
I know. I knew that. I'd seen Jade tweet that, and I thought, what, she's right. And I kind of, it does make your head rattle a bit, and you think, well, honestly, when he was warming up on Thursday night, he was right next to us, and the bandages he's got.
I know.
It's not normal. It just isn't normal.
Well, I get it from him. He wears what makes him feel comfortable, and if he wants a bandage up, well, that's fine. I see he's gone from sort of bandages to sleeves where they've got the thing in the the thumb hole, which looks a little bit less worse. But I noticed on the Liverpool game, his legs are bandaged up to his knees now. You're thinking, what's going on there? So it's obviously something he needs to do. But I can't remember him doing it last season. I could be wrong. So people in the chat tell me I'm wrong. That's absolutely fine. But it's not something that I remember him doing. Being bandaged up like that. So it could be a bit like back in the day when Bellamy was always panicking with his knees because they were getting crocked and he wouldn't play too many games, and he used to bandage his knees up and all sorts. And okay, that's fair enough. So if ASM thinks he's got weak wrists or thumbs or whatever, you might need to do it. I don't know, but it is very, very odd. Very odd.
It is. Michael says, surely that's a conflict of interest, a referee having shares in a club.
Absolutely.
Look, Nigel commented before that his sons have shares in the club. Yes, they do, but so does he. But he shouldn't. It's got nothing to do with him having shares in the club. He's from the Wirral. He should not be refereeing that game. Yeah. It's just a fact. He shouldn't. Julie says, nothing dodgy going on in the Premier League. No, sir, nothing at all. Nigel says, Merry Christmas all. Santa wears black and white in the Toon. Thomas says, I do like, Paul, that you shook your head at me for calling the referee in our games corruption. Now you see what I mean. Yeah, look, I'm not 100% behind all this corruption stuff, but I can see where people are coming from when they mention it. Let's face it, the Premier League don't want us in this league, not since the takeover. They just don't. And the fact of the matter is, they'll be very happy if we do get relegated. But the fact of the matter is, we'll be back. And, whether they like it or not, we'll be back. But it's just such a pain in the arse when you have to see such disgraceful decisions going on a football pitch. Even the third goal. I'm not taking anything away from Trent, right? That was a fantastic hit. And we know he can do that. But what was Mike Riley doing in that position? He should never, ever, ever have been in that position, running in front of the ball.
Well, it's not just that, Paul. And it's one of the things that got me angry when I watched it again. Not only did he run in front of the player, he ran in front of Shelvey, which effectively made him out of the game because that half second, whatever it was enough for Shelvey to provide a wall, if you like. And then it blocked Dubravka's view. And again, it was only half a second or whatever it was. He got his fingertips to it. Had Riley stayed where he was, now wrong with him where he was. He could have just stayed where he was, stood still, the daft sod, and it would have been fine. And then if what's his name had hit the ball, I as well. And let's not beat about the bush. It was a brilliant hit. You know, it's the old thing. You hit it, and by God, it stayed hit. But maybe the keeper would have got more of a hand to it, and it would have went. You know, it might have went off the post or whatever. We don't know. Having said all that, I mean, absolutely stunning hit and a brilliant goal to finish the game off. But yet again, we're sort of saying what. And even I noticed today there was one of the referees that I follow on Twitter was agreeing with the Newcastle fans, saying, "Yeah, you got this wrong, you got that. He reckons you got the head injury thing absolutely wrong. You should never have ran. You could have easily, ran backwards. You could have turned, backwards away from the goal, which is what he should have done. He should never have moved that far, and it just got in everybody's way. So, did he do it deliberately? We don't know, but I mean, we all think, yeah.
Well,
did.
there was, I don't know.
I bet you lot are going bloody hate with them as well.
Oh, the amount of time. I mean, I don't know how well it came through on the TV what we were singing, but Jesus Christ. I mean, Liverpool fans, I was amazed how quiet that stadium is.
I mean, as I say, my mate Ronnie came down to watch it because I've got BT and we're watching it, and then watched the sort of, the bit before the kick-off with them singing You Never Walk Alone. And I said to Ronnie, that's brilliant, that, by the way. The whole crowd was singing, a bit like we do with the Blade Races.
It was amazing.
It was
does
really
make
good.
the hair stand up when
you're
singing that.
Absolutely fair play. That was stunning. Well done, lads. And then we scored the goal and not a bloody peep. I mean, there weren't, what happens when we get a goal scored against us? We get the Newcastle chant that will support you ever more, and we are the Jody Budd boys and all the rest of it. We all did G the team up and say, "Come on, lads, we're behind you. We're here to do it." They never done that. They just went, "Oh, damn me," But
if we look to the game tomorrow, Dave, where I mean, I've seen some people say that we could surprise them. I really can't see it. I mean, I think if the effort's there tomorrow, Dave, that was there on Thursday, I think fair enough. The only worry I've got is Liverpool didn't play that well on Thursday night. They weren't at the best. I thought Salah had an off game.
Yeah, he was poor, by the way.
There was a couple of others, not at it. I mean, they're not going to be at it every single game, but I thought we nullified them to a degree. They definitely targeted our left-hand side, whether it be Lewis or Richie at the time. The ball was going to Salah all the time. So in tomorrow's game, you kind of think, right, Man City flying. Pep doesn't really let them settle at all. No. He's always on them, but I don't know if Pep's going to be there tomorrow. I don't know.
Well, he damn well shouldn't be, Paul. I'm sorry to say, but him and a few others thingied off to watch, that former player having a bit of a cry fest. And, fair enough. The guy's retired and, fair play to the lad. He was brilliant. There's no getting away from him. But, with all the restrictions going on, what the hell was he thinking about? I mean, I don't know whether he's had another test today. I mean, I know he had a inconclusive test, which normally when you get the second test, it makes it positive, So, I mean, what a stupid thing to do. It really is. I mean,
it's crazy. But Schulz makes a good point here. I mean, I'm more worried about the appointment of Hammond as temporary director of football. He has no merits whatsoever. So why? I don't understand that appointment at all. If you look at his record, I mean, it's Celtic. He signed some of the worst players Celtic have ever had in their history. Yes. He didn't do a great job at Reading either. And I don't know what merits he's got to get this job, and that is worrying me a bit. If he's there, particularly for the January transfer window, if he's going to be the man, then I dread to think who we might get in.
I agree, but I think from my point of view, getting somebody like him in, on the face of it, if it's only temporary, is not a bad idea. I'm not sure that's the right appointment. I have to say, I'd never heard of him. I looked him up and went, oh, bloody hell. He's not got the best reputation going. But, do they just need somebody just to guide them? Is he going to be, if they say, oh, can we go and get, Dave Harrison? He'll go, okay, I'll go and interview him and then we'll get him in, see his agent. And that's okay. But if he's going to be then saying, I tell you what, we need to go and get Paul. And then everyone else is going, why are we going to get him? Well, he's a good player. Well, no, I'm sorry, mate. Your record of getting players, from what I've read and what you've just said, is just not good enough. And I understand them delaying the director of football or sporting director, whatever you want to call it. I get that. It's, we've got bigger fish to fry. I still say we need a chief executive before we need a director of football. We need somebody to run the business side of the club. And I mean, I know Amanda and Miazan are doing that, and they're doing a great job, but they can't continue to do it because they've got their own businesses to run. But I didn't get it when it came up. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. Then I looked them up and went, what? So I'm like you. It's odd. It really is odd.
Again, we'll have to see what happens with it.
It might be a great success. Let's hope it is.
Nigel's on about a lockdown happening on the 27th of December. Rumors going around. Let's not even think about that at the minute. So we'll put that on the slow burner for a while. Shauna says we got a penalty against Norwich. It was clear cut, but even then VAR didn't want to give it. Yeah, look how long that took to give.
Was it 4 minutes it took?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
And then they sent the referee over. Yeah. And I think once the referee went over, he had no option but to give it because it was absolutely. A stone waller.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit, when all the carry-on was going on, and I thought, is he going to book somebody, one of our players, because he was looking at all of our players? Is he going to send somebody off? And whoever it was went to take the corner and then pick the ball up and start to walk towards him. And we were, because obviously we're at the other end of the pitch, and we were saying, what the hell's going on here? And then a lad further up from where I said towards it, he turned around and shouted, possible penalty. I went, oh, okay. How long is this going to take? And I mean, it was 4 bloody minutes. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And yet in other games, it's like 10 seconds, which is really what it should be, So
yeah, exactly. Guys, if you are enjoying the show tonight, please don't forget to hit the like button for us and help to continue to build this channel up. If you're new and you haven't already done so, please do consider subscribing. I see we've got a couple of new subscribers in the chat tonight, so welcome to them. We are trying to get to 7,000 over the festive period. We're not far away, 110 or something like that. So please do get sharing the channel with your friends and family if they like Newcastle content. This is the channel to be at. So please, let's get new subscribers in and hopefully build it up. And also, if you want to donate to the channel, super chats are available. If you hit the $sign at the bottom of the live chat, that'll take you through if you want to donate. Thank you very much in advance for that. Jimmy Jones is calling Joe Willock tiny tears. It seems to be. Nigel says we looked so much better than we did against Leicester. Willock is apparently homesick. Well, send him home as far as I'm concerned, because it's just
bring his parents up if that's the issue. His, it sounds awful. Bring his mom up, but if you're homesick, it's often your parents that you miss. So,
as Rocky Balboa said, you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
So. John is asking if there's any news on possible incoming players and outgoings. Nothing on the outgoings front, but I think Kieran Trippier is pretty much done. And Lingard is still pretty much, I would say, 70-30 in our favour at the minute. But again, do you know what got me was I think it was his Instagram post he put on the other day. He actually finished it with a Geordie saying. He put Yana at the end of his post, which I don't think anybody picked up on. But when I read it, I thought, well, why is he saying Yana? Nobody else says that in the country.
It's that old thing, isn't it? If you know, you know.
Yeah, it's like a Geordie thing. He's like Yana, and I thought, but nobody has since mentioned it. I just found it very interesting.
I'm not big at Instagram or TikTok. I must admit, I'm a bit old, but.
Well, the Toon Review is on TikTok. I'd just like to say that if anyone does use TikTok that's watching, the Toon Review does have a TikTok account, which Susan runs. My fiance runs that. I don't touch it. She's far better than me with all that TikTok stuff. So if you are on TikTok, go and get yourself following the Toon Review on there. Obviously, news of any streams, videos, and everything like that pops up on there. So if you're on TikTok.
Susan will have to give me a tutorial on how to do it all, because it's help beyond me.
Neil Roberts, thank you very much for the £4.49 super chat. He said, my self-imposed fine for watching Strictly. Yep, that's fair enough.
We'll let you off, fella.
The happy highlight says Willock was never that good. All the goals he got was scrappy, right place, right time. He has potential, just needs time, it seems. I don't know. He hasn't got time at the minute, though. That's we wanted him to come in. He was one of those players that we thought would come in and fly from the start, because tomorrow is the start of a new derby. The Middle East derby. Yeah, it is. Jock says watched his interview today and thought, Willock, whatever. Yeah, I've seen the interview.
I haven't seen it, I must admit.
I would have a watch, Dave. See what you think. Willock needs to go. Not good enough to pull the shirt on. Stephanie says John Joe's goal was fantastic. Well done to him for that. Yeah, I mean, he took it brilliantly. It was a wonderful goal. And that's, I mean, he scored one of them against Man City, if you remember, at St James's in the 2-2 draw a couple of years ago, and we could do with him doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I have to say, harking back to the match, Ronnie and I were sat in our front room watching it, and he hit the ball, it flew in the back of the net, and we both sort of went, have we just scored? Because we weren't expecting to get anything, never mind score and take the lead. And then it must have been about 20 seconds going, oh, get in, it was amazing. So yes, but yeah, I've said in a couple of shows ago, he's due a goal, because who was it? He hit the woodwork twice and put one just over, or the keeper made a great save. So he's obviously got his eye for goal back, and we know he can do that. We know he can hit a curving ball, and if he keeps on doing that, it might just be the saving grace that we need to get us out of this bloody shit show. And
I agree. The Wickety Tickety, who is an Arsenal fan, by the way, says Joe Willock just isn't good. I never wanted him at Arsenal, so when Newcastle took him, I was over the moon. He just had a purple patch. Interesting.
Possibly. There's a few gunners have said that. I mean, I know Rich said the same. He thought he was a good squad player, but he certainly wasn't first team all the time player. That he blew hot and cold. He would go for long spells where he wasn't good enough. So maybe that's what one of these long spells that he has, where he just doesn't seem to either want to or can turn it on.
Agreed. Chippers wants to know if John's taking Gillian tomorrow. I don't even know if John's going to the match tomorrow, or if it's the Man United one. I'm not sure.
You're on a stream earlier on, and
that's a surprise.
Well, yeah, it was only 6 hours, so it wasn't long. I only listened for about 45 minutes. I can't recall him saying he was coming up. I must admit, he may be. I don't know, but I don't.
Well, I've got his ticket, so it would be nice for him to tell me. I don't know who's getting his ticket tomorrow.
You better take it just in case.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the 50 krona, mate. As usual, very, very generous donator to the channel. Thank you so much, buddy.
Well done,
John says Shelby's back pass was diabolical. Why pass back to the keeper when it is dangerous? Look, the thing about Thursday was, and it's going to happen again tomorrow, is the way they press.
Yeah,
they are on you like bees around honey. It is incredible. Just watching the way that those Liverpool players worked to chase the ball down, and Newcastle aren't good enough to pass it around that quick to get rid of the press, and it will cause panic and it will cause mistakes. And unfortunately for us, it caused a mistake with John Joe.
Yeah,
Man City are going to do the same tomorrow. I mean, Man City press even harder than Liverpool, to be honest.
And much higher up the field as well.
Much higher up the field. So we can't be done with this playing out from the back. We cannot do that. We just cannot play out from the back.
We haven't got the players to do that.
Just launch it. I'm sure every fan in that ground tomorrow will be happy if we just get the ball at the back and launch it. Yeah. Not necessarily every single time, because sometimes you might have a bit of time to find a midfielder. But we have to play sensibly tomorrow against Man City and not create problems for ourselves, because it's just the way it is. Craig said, I never thought that was fully Shelby's fault. No, I don't think it is.
One of those things, isn't it?
Yeah. Michael, thank you again. £100 super chat, matey.
You are Michael. What a star.
Thank you so much, matey. This guy, I mean, he helps the channel out so much every single week. He knows how I think about me. He's just a tremendous guy. And
yes.
You know what, Michael? You've supported this channel throughout this year, nearly every single week, and it's just exceptionally generous of you. So thank you so much, and I hope you're going to the game tomorrow, Michael. So it'll be good to catch up with you there.
Good to do that.
Drop us a text, mate, and let me know if you're going. And then maybe I'll meet you at the car park and walk up the ground with you. So let me know if you're going. But thank you so much again, Michael. So kind.
Top man. He's such a nice bloke as well.
Oh God, he's amazing. I mean, he really is.
And wonderful.
The donations he makes to this channel are just absolutely unbelievable.
Legendary. Top man.
Julie says, hit the likes up, peeps, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
Hi, Julie.
Julie working hard, modding in the background there.
Yeah.
Charles says Shelby was the first to admit he had a howler in the interview after the game.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean,
exactly.
He makes a mistake, put his hand up. You know what, lads? I screwed up. Sorry.
Yeah,
and that's absolutely fine. It's when people say, "Oh, it was Mo. You know, what about this?" No, I'm sorry, mate. You made a mess of it. Put your hand up and said, "I got it wrong." And that
not many players do that. To be fair,
no,
not many do that.
But I think he has in the past. You know. So.
John says, "Have we got anyone missing with COVID?" Not that I know of at the minute, but then again, COVID tests are done in the morning again, so you just never know the way it's going at the minute. But I don't think Man City have been hit by it tremendously so either. So I think the game should be fine to go on tomorrow. I don't think it's from both camps are saying there shouldn't be any problem.
Well, if they do what they did today, they'll call the game off at 5-2 or something. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that was with I can't remember what it was now. I had it and it went. The game was called off at the last minute. And that's just shocking.
Yeah,
it really is. And I put on Twitter saying that these last minute cancellations are just not good enough.
Yeah.
And I said, because it was Sky, and I just said, you know what it is. And in the Premier League, I said, you've got to sort this out. You should stop. You should pause the season now, not tomorrow. Now, you're putting fans and players' lives at risk. Stop it now. And I've had about 100 likes, which means a lot of people, some straight.
I think everybody's. See, I'm not for shutting it down.
No, I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
I'm. Don't get me wrong. Safety comes first. It has to. It's paramount. Liverpool on Thursday night, no problems at all. I mean, you got there. There was stewards before you got to the turnstiles asking if you have your COVID pass ready. Have you had your jabs? If you didn't have any proof, they offered you to go and get a lateral flow straight away.
Yeah.
They had them on hand to go and get one done if you couldn't get into the game. So a couple of fans had to do that, which they didn't mind because then they had proof. Then you got just before the turnstiles. Then they checked your COVID pass. Straight in,
no bother,
and then in, no bother. It was done fine.
Yeah, if it's run right, it'll go quite easily. Yeah. I mean, lateral flow tests are 10 minutes at the most, I would have thought. I mean,
they don't take very long at all. So
I've done more than I care to think about. We're having the grandkids, it's every other day.
Me too. And it was just easy. There was no problem. But everybody's going to have an opinion on it, and no opinion is going to be right or wrong.
No,
I think it's just the way you look at it. I just worry that if they did put a stop to it, then it's going to create a hell of a backlog with the games because of the World Cup. Simple as that. But because of the stupid World Cup being at the time it is.
Yeah,
it's kind of going to sort everybody over.
Yeah.
Look, if the clubs stick to the stringent guidelines that have been given, and the fans are all in agreement and bring the COVID passes, etc., there is going to be no problem. But it's the games being called off at the last minute. That's what I have a problem with.
Absolutely. I mean, and as we joked the other day, somebody said with a Liverpool game, if it's pulled 5 minutes, you will kick off, I'll be over the moon. And of course, you are correctly saying, hang on a minute, I'm bloody driving down there. That's not acceptable. And that's what they're going to look at. How long is it around Manchester? About 3.5 hours, 4 hours, say, to get to you. If they're going to call it off,
Dave, if you're driving, I mean, it's not that far, Manchester, man.
20 minutes for me, but normal drivers, they've got to look at the average time to get from one city to the other and say, right, we need to call it off at the latest by this, whatever it is. That'll give the 2, 3, 4, however many hours to go, because it's not acceptable. And people have made a weekend of it. They've got a hotels in some cases, and it's ridiculous. But and I think the thing with the COVID situation is, one of the girls, the Newcastle followers, put on who's had the vaccines, just thinking about tomorrow, and I put on, I've had all 3, and I've had my flu jab as well. I'm very good. And then a guy comes, he says, "Oh my God," he says, "the media have absolutely taken you, with all that BS, and you've fallen for it." And I went, "No, not at all, mate." I said, "I've lost 2 friends, as to it, which was tragic, and it still upsets me. And as I've got a heart condition and I've got asthma. If I get it, the chances of me surviving is bloody minimal. So I don't want to get it, And I said, but everybody has the right to determine what they're going to do in their lives, and I respect you for whatever you choose to do."
Yeah, it's everybody's choice, and
absolutely,
nobody should be hammered for whatever they think either way. Yeah, so it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Santos says, "Is there any interesting transfer rumors that excite you?" Not really. I mean, Lingard, if he comes in, yes, I think
Yeah,
Lingard's a fantastic player. So
yeah,
I'd be happy with him.
yeah.
GGL Float says, with Hayden, remember under Benitez when he wanted to leave, then Bruce came in and said he was happy to stay. Now Howe is in, he seems unhappy again. He might be work shy and hates to graft hard. That's not what I've heard about Hayden, to be fair. I've heard he's the utmost professional, but listen, he might just be going through a bad spell. All right, players
everybody
do that.
does. Everybody does.
Everybody has off days and are off form for a while. But I like Isaac Hayden as a player and as a person. I think he's, I think he's a good professional. He's good at what he does on and off the field. So I hope he gets back to his best. Julie's replying there saying, I'm sure Susan is around. She should be modding in the background. It shouldn't just be Julie, but I don't know. Pity we lost Lewis when he was getting on well. I know, just at the wrong time, really. But
that's just how I bloody look, isn't it? That's how I look.
Yeah.
Is there any word on him? I'm presuming it's hamstring. He's out for a few weeks.
It's a hamstring, He'll not be back for a while, but
probably
I don't think they give a time spell. I think they said several weeks, but again.
It usually is when it's a hamstring,
Yeah, exactly. John says, how much will the new owner spend come January? All I can say to that is as much as it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
If they think can do a 50, crack on. If they need 150, crack on. It's up to them. They're the ones with the wallets and the money, if you like, and they've got to do what they think's best and how. And the team will be saying, I need this, this, and this, and they've got to go and get it. So
without a doubt. Nobody says I did hear that Willock had a toe injury. That was a while ago. Maybe he's still not 100%.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times. Yeah. But
that was a while ago. I'm not having that. If he's injured, you don't play him. It's as simple as that.
And
if it's affecting his performances, even more so,
take him out. I mean, you're absolutely right. And what I would say to that is, if he has an ongoing injury, which is affecting his performances, does he need some intervention? Is that physio? Is it an operation? Whatever it is, get it done and get him back to the way he was. That's what you need to do. Now, but it was a while ago, wasn't it? I mean, it was start of the season and even at the close season, so that's a long time ago in the grand scheme of things. So just too long, in my opinion,
Nigel says, any chance of showcasing Dwight Gale? None at all.
Not a chance.
Listen, he's the most he gets is a run out for the warm up. He just doesn't play. Five Belly, says walk in the park for City with false refereeing again. 4-1, I'm afraid, but a 2-2 draw against United.
That works.
Thomas says, I want to know, Paul, other than Cody, given I don't think he will move in January, given he's captain, who else do you want in defence? Botman. Botman's another one that I think he could come in and do a very, very good job. I don't know about you, Dave.
No, I agree. I mean, there's one or two players that we've been with. I think some of the players we've been with from Europe, we've probably got more chance of getting in because I think, what's his name, the bloke you like? Can't remember now, Cody. I think he'd be a great asset because he, as you said on numerous occasions, he's a born leader and he's very good at what he does. I don't think he'll come in January. He might if we stay up. Oh, sorry, I'll change that. When we stay up,
that's better.
Yes, when we start to buy some, better players in the summer, you may think, what, actually that looks like a really good project. I might go there. I can't see him leaving Wolves as their captain to come and play for us at the moment. Sadly, I'd love him. Don't get me wrong, but I just can't see it. I could be wrong. I mean, if they turn around and say, how much are you getting a week, son? 50 grand.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, people are saying, oh, I don't think he'll come because he's Wolves captain. I'm not so sure about that. Money talks at the end of the day. And if we put in a good enough bid to Wolves, they'll accept it. And certainly with the money they can use from that is mantle. We've had another super chat come in from Cesare, 250 ZAR, which is obviously the South African rand. Is that it? Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cesare, matey. Very, very kind.
Top man.
Listen, by Monday, I promise memberships will be available for the channel because I know Cesare keeps asking us. What the hell was that?
I been saying that for weeks, so I'm just...
Oh, I'm sorry. I felt like I'd been hit by a bloody bus yesterday, not getting back from Anfield till...
You did, bless you.
I could have done people's milk rounds by the time I got home, I tell you. It was unbelievable.
I know.
Ryan says...
I don't think people realise just what an 8 or 9 hour drive does to you. I mean, I've done it a lot of times, and it absolutely cripples me. So you're right. I mean, and you got all the adrenaline of the match, and then the drive home where you're desperate to stay awake. It's not a good idea.
It's hard work. It's hard work. But it's Ryan says at least the SM isn't Neymar, where he always misses the middle of February because of his sister's birthday.
Oh, that's that right?
A good point. Yeah. Yano says it's not the booking, Paul. His injury record shows he breaks down after a run of games. Losing him for one game is nothing compared to a muscle injury keeping him out for an important run. Look, if he was left out for that reason, that's fine with me as well. Again, like I say, Liverpool or Man City, it could have been either one. Let's face it. Callum Wilson is going to be more important in further games this season than he is against, City or Liverpool.
I'd rather he was playing against Man U and Everton than playing tomorrow. So we'll wait and see what the big man comes up with tomorrow.
Yeah. Thomas says the worrying thing about January is attracting players. Look, let's not worry about that yet, Thomas. Let's just get these remaining fixtures of 2021 out the way, and then let's start focusing on the transfer window. Then, obviously, we'll be doing a lot of streams on this channel throughout the transfer window with any rumors or signings and stuff like that. So, a lot coming up on this channel actually in the transfer window. So, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, we're going to liaise with a few other channels as well. I know there's talk of me getting another. Linking up with the Loaded Boys again for a show during the week. So, there's lots coming up on here. Nigel says ASM is either hiding tattoos or he gets cold quick. But Forever Wrong says Lord Harrison is never wrong.
I'm sure I am.
Wow.
But thank you.
Yeah. K Moggy says Cody, Lingard, Trippier, and either Dele Alli or Oxlade-Chamberlain in January for me. Oxlade-Chamberlain is a funny one. I think he's hitting a bit of form. He's certainly very well thought of by Jurgen Klopp at the minute. But we all know who he's engaged to and how much he'll be pestering on his ear. If Newcastle come in for him, then you get your ass up to the northeast. So it's interesting. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain, is he better than what we have? Absolutely. If he can stay fit, that is. He's had his injury problems. Again, another one. Ryan says, get foreign referees in ASAP. Fuck all these biased bell ends.
Fair point.
That's been mentioned before as well. Yeah, getting some in who are going to be completely, they're not going to have a favourite team over here or support a team.
Can we get Cellini out of retirement?
Yeah. Oh, that Kalini,
Kalini, rather, yeah.
Kalina. Was it Kalina or Kalini?
I don't know.
The bald-headed bloke.
The bald-headed prominently, He was amazing. One of the best referees ever.
Without a doubt. Troll says if we get Trippier, we might more might come, but if we get championship players, then we are effed, in my opinion. Ethan says it's going to be another tough game for us tomorrow. Absolutely.
Certainly is.
The behaviour of the Premier League to this takeover has been atrocious with last-minute rewriting of the rules. John says ref block keepers line the sight. Yep, for the third goal. Dread it, run from it. Newcastle still arrives. Damn right. Keith says I certainly think that there is a conspiracy going on against Newcastle. We'll get the bastards back one day, says Andre. Nigel says Premier will need us if the big six leave. They will want us to spend extraordinary amounts of money to keep top players in the league. They are fools not diluting the league beyond the six. Now, tomorrow, Dave, we enter St. James's Park.
And, yes,
there's no Sports Direct signs.
It's like Christmas Eve, Paul. I can't wait to see what Santa's taken away, not what he's left. I'm absolutely thrilled about it.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I popped on Stephen's show this morning for a few minutes, and I said, I've actually moved a load of photographs off me phone to the cloud so I can take lots. I'm going to probably have a walk around and see, well, they're all gone, so.
It's going to be strange, isn't it? Because, we've known them signs be there now for, nearly 15 years. Yeah. I mean, that is a long, long time.
And you look at some of the lads who are 20, round about that age, they'll have not known that stadium without all those bloody signs.
Yeah.
Because they were just kids, when Ashley moved in. And, every time they've been, whether it's, the odd game here, or they've got a ticket or whatever, they'll not know it. Whereas, we've seen it. God, I saw it when the popular side was there, and there wasn't even a stand. That's going back to the old wooden stand before the Bradford Fire. God,
I remember Panda Pop. Advertisement around the ground. Oh my God, just crazy.
The guy with the packets of nuts as well. I mean, that was
yeah. Madness.
Yeah, and of course,
sorry, go on.
And the Gallagher Bogs. Well, let's not go there.
Oh no, we'll not talk about them again, Dave. No. Ethan says hopefully St. Maximin is fit to play tomorrow. We need him to boost our team. I'm not sure that is entirely true, Ethan. But again, that's your opinion. But the matches I've seen lately, not really. Nigel says if the ball had hit the ref, would he have awarded Liverpool a free kick?
Probably.
Yeah, well, he would have probably given them a penalty, to be fair. K-Moggy says, I truly believe it's going down either us or Leeds to go down with Norwich and Burnley. Leeds are on a slide, but Leeds have been pulverised by injuries. I mean, I still think...
It's 7 out, haven't it, today?
Yeah, 9 tonight.
Was it 9? I didn't watch it, but...
Listen, I think... I think Leeds will be all right once they get the players back. I think they're a good side. I'm not sold on Bielsa, though. He just seems to have one way of playing, and he can't change the way he plays. Yeah. And I just don't see him being like in the same ilk as Klopp and Guardiola.
And yet, players are out for all sorts of reasons. Is it his coaching regime? Who knows? It might just be unlucky with injuries. But the Leeds fans still seem to love him. People on today saying,
can't do no wrong.
Where in Bielsa we trust him. Well, fair play to you, lads.
Yeah. To be honest, it's nice in a way because they're sticking by a manager who's having a rough time at the minute.
And we all know how quickly managers are turfed out the door for losing 2 games. Well, you lost a half, get out, you're sacked. Come on, give them a chance.
Definitely. Stephanie says, "I wish it had hit the ref." Knocked his bloody head clean off. Liam says, "We're definitely going to surprise a few tomorrow. I think we're only going to concede the 6."
Sorry, just moved me forward.
I mean, are we looking at a bigger defeat than the Liverpool game, Dave?
Heart and head again, Paul. In my heart, I would say no, we aren't. Are you, Susan? Because I think that the crowd, being the 11th, 12th, and 13th man, will get them going. I think I would hope they've taken a big, load of. What's the word it's going, positivity, there you go, got that in, out of the Liverpool game, because everybody was saying 6, 7, and I said 4, so I wasn't that far away, but and they didn't do that, and they played well. I mean, for our team, they're not the best in the world. I thought we played well, And
all we can ask for is graft, and we got that on Thursday.
Yeah, and it's like, it's what we've always said, Paul, we don't expect a team that wins. We expect a team that tries.
Just put the effort in and you'll get the applause from us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, we've got about 10-15 minutes of the show left. We have well over 300 watching tonight, which is fantastic. Again, brilliant. This channel is really growing, and thanks to you lot, that is. So if you are enjoying the show, please hit the like button. If you're new and like what you see, please consider subscribing. Really trying to get the 7K over the festive period. Yeah. And as I said once before, once we hit the 7K, I will be doing a Q&A, answering all your questions. Now, Susan's put up an idea for that, Dave, that you are actually going to be the question master for that Q&A.
Okay.
Where it's going to be a bit like Mastermind, where I'm, trying to get the sound effects for Mastermind in, and you sit there in your big leather chair and you ask me the questions. So that might be interesting.
Yeah,
but that's coming up at 7K, so please get yourself subscribed, share the channel around, all that jazz.
Yeah, tell all your mates. That's what you need to do.
Exactly.
Tell your mates.
Andre says, I'm in Newcastle for the first time in 7 years. It's bloody freezing. Worse than the northeast of Ireland. Lovely city. Please don't call the game off. It's not going to get called off, Andre. Don't worry. Caitlin, good evening. She says, Harry, guys, do we have a chance of getting anything tomorrow? Well, there's always a chance. There's always a chance until... I think there's always a chance until it hits 2 o'clock, and then, it goes to shit.
Until the whistle goes, we're matching them in every part of the field. And the whistle goes, and then you think, hang on, so...
it'll be very interesting, to put it mildly, seeing what the halftime score is going to be. I think we'll be all right. I think if we put the effort in, I think, we should be all right keeping the score. I don't think we're going to get anything from the game.
And they don't like coming here. I mean, their record here is not the best. So whether they just don't like the cold, wet, horrible, awful northeast, that Gobby keeps on about, so.
And the thing that we have to do tomorrow again, Dave, is keep that stadium rocking like it's been the last 2 home games. Yeah. And make sure that those Man City fans are not heard, however many decide to turn up. Because as I've seen a comment before, they've already started social distancing at the Etihad. So,
absolutely.
We'll
I couldn't believe it. The last home game that was televised, I was watching it.
Empty seats.
There's nobody there. We said it, I think, on a previous show. If we were in their position with an 80,000 seat stadium, the bugger would be full.
It would be full. It would be absolutely
and they'd be coming round the block for the half dozen tickets that were potentially available. I just don't get it.
Absolutely rocking. Raymond, good evening to you. Hi, lads. My first time here. Love the channel, Paul. I think we're all worried about relegation at the moment, but we must stay positive about the future. It will take time. Of course it will. Hope you've got yourself subscribed, Raymond. Welcome to the Toon Review family, matey. Let's have a look. Ethan says, hope St. Maximin. No, we've seen that one, but never mind. I don't know why that's shown up again. Will says, hello, guys. Hope you're both well. Ethan says, who do you think we need to sign in January? Well, listen, the bottom line is, I mean, we have to be careful because we're not going to sign absolute world-class players in January. We know that for a fact, okay? That's not going to happen. But what might happen is getting some quality players in it. And we said before, David, when you look at signing the decent players who we think are going to get us out of the mire, you have to look at it and say, right, well, yes, we're in the relegation scrap, but there's things you can offer these players to convince them to come. If we go down, we send them back on loan to the Premier League so that, they don't risk their international status or anything like that. Or they might decide, no, I'm going to stay for the fight. You're offering me good money, so I'm going to stay.
And you're absolutely right,
isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as I said on one of the previous shows, that it's that sales technique. When you go to say, do you want to sign with us? And they go, what are you going to offer? Oh, I'll give you a bit of money. And I go, nah, I'm not. I'm sorry. It's one we've been for interviews, and you think, I've walked out of a couple of interviews in my time and think, it's not right for me at all. And others, when you've got them, they've been really enthusiastic about what you're saying, and you think, I could definitely work here. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to say, look, it's a 5-year project. This is what I want to do in, this year, stay up. Next year, I'm just pulling numbers out. We want to be, 10th or higher. And then the year after that, we're going to be, 6th or higher. And then get into, one of the European competitions. The year after that, want to get in the Champions League, sort of 4 to 5 year. You see, you can be here for 5 years. That's what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to pay you, what you want. And we're going to keep on buying good players to make sure that comes off. That's what you'll do when people go, well, they should do, think, you know what? Yeah, I get this. They'll see the fans, as I said the last time, most of these players have played here and they know what it's like when it's bouncing. I mean, for 14 years it hasn't bounced, but, they'll see it, so.
Again, time's going to tell, isn't it? I
mean, absolutely.
Forever on, thank you very much for your super chat, matey. I'll 100% go to TikTok to check Lord Harrison's dancing.
I know.
That'll be next. I'm sure Susan's going to try and convince Dave to do a little kind of boogie. Listen, Dave's hips don't lie. Let's put it that way, all right? Keith says, Joe Willock doesn't want to be here. Thomas wants Trippier and Lingard. Kendo says, think Willock's a young lad that just needs a fatherly chat from the coach like Robson did to get him motivated and head straight. Send him to Dave. Send him to Dave.
Yeah, I'll
Joshua is absolutely loving this channel. Cheers, fellas. Hope you've got yourself subscribed, buddy. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Joshua.
It's nearly time, Dave, to come up with your team selection and your prediction. Just to let you know, I'm giving you sort of a 5-minute warning here. John says, should we go for John McGinn in the window? I don't think Gerrard will get rid of John McGinn, but
no.
I think he's a good player, though. He is a good player.
He is.
William says, mate, you still have that Sports Direct shit up. Is that he's talking about the background? Yeah, don't worry. That'll be changed in due course. Hang on a minute. If you're not happy about the background, give us 1 second here. Let's just
change it. He's going to change it for you.
Hang on. Let's just amend this crap. Let's go back to the dressing room. There you go.
There you go. Yes. There's no sports direct stuff there.
Absolutely not. I've checked.
Good. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Absolutely not. Yano says people belittling the impact of being homesick, never have been in that position. Lots of players struggle when they move to a new club. The lads needs our support, not ridicule.
No, that's fair point. Very fair point.
But listen, I'm going to ridicule him when he doesn't applaud his own fans after
that's
a
true.
Thursday night traveling all the way to Liverpool, 3,500 fans or whatever it was again. And he doesn't have the guts to come over and applaud. I mean, what is that? Sorry, but he's going to get ridiculed when he doesn't do that. Very disappointing.
Maybe if he's read or heard some of the constructive criticism he'll have got on social media, he might think he's going to get pelters, and he wouldn't. Everybody would just clap and just, there's always going to be the odd idiot who's going to shout, whatever you're that happens. Doesn't matter how well we've played, I remember years ago, I can't remember who it was, we're winning. It was in the Championship, winning 6-0, and whoever it was should have crossed and had a shot, and it went over the top. And this guy leapt up and went absolutely ballistic with whoever it was. And I'm thinking, fella, what, 5-6 up? There's like 2 minutes to go. What you on about? He should have scored. And, well, but doesn't matter. We've won the game. But so there's always going to be that sort of idiot. But yeah, I don't know.
Of course there is. Aaron, who is obviously a smog monster, Newcastle are going to get smashed playing Borough next season. Okay. Dave, can you feel yourself shaking with the fear?
I'm going to need my angina spray because I'm starting to panic.
Have a word with yourself, will you?
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ. Tony says, is the game still going ahead? Yes, it is.
As we know.
Robert says, good evening, Paul, from the small island of Malta. I always watch and chat. Keep it up. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, Robert, good to hear from you.
Troll says, get yourself behind the goal so when the opponent keeper is there, do an angry rant and we will win the 5 goals. Listen, I thought my immediate thoughts after the Liverpool game were very composed, even though I was in pitch black dark and I couldn't find any light to stand under.
What about the light on your phone? Could you not find that, or was it already on?
Well, I have to look. I have to turn to the selfie cam, Dave, which doesn't have a.
Of course, yes, of course. Sorry. Tell you, man, technology.
I know. Stu says, evening, Paul and His Royal Highness, Dave, the King of Northumberland. Hope you're well, Stu.
Right, buddy. Yeah.
Haven't been to St James's in years. Would love to take the wife up there to experience it. Would love to have a chat with you all. Brilliant channel. Cheers, buddy. You'll get there someday, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let me know when you come up. We'll make sure we meet you, mate. Yeah,
exactly. Kendo says, how has pulled a muscle with possession, performances, and getting Shelby and J7 playing out their skin? Points must follow soon. Pulled a muscle? What? When? What am I reading? A miracle. I do apologise.
Come on, get a grip.
That's my jet lagged, man, from the Liverpool game. It's terrible. Well, I'm well. I'm just tired, Dave.
I
got dragged in the Metro Centre and IKEA all in one day today, Dave. So, let's just...
No wonder you're knackered, fella. I mean, IKEA's about... What's IKEA? About a 6-mile walk?
God, I bloody love it, Dave. I bloody love it.
Really?
No.
Of course, I just worried for a second.
Freaking hell.
I can't stand IKEA. The only thing I like about IKEA is the coffee, because they do a decent bacon batter and a cup of coffee. So
I didn't get a chance. When you're with Susan in IKEA, you do not get a chance for that kind of thing, Dave. She is just, you know what gets me though is when you go with a woman to IKEA, they have to stop, look, touch, and move on.
Yes.
When they're not even interested, they still have to. Oh, isn't that a nice texture on the wood?
Never fit.
Gee, it's freaking wood. Never mind.
I was saying to some of the lads at Archie this morning, I said, it's not the shopping I hate, it's the bloody idle wandering that does my head in.
Yeah.
They're just wondering, well, that's nice. Well, buy it then. No, we'll come back. And you come back, they're all sold out. You've got to start again. So
yeah. And what got me today was Susan bought an item which was very heavy when we got down to, the aisles at the end where you get the trolley and you put them on the aisle. And I lifted this huge, heavy thing out. Now, bearing in mind, my hands aren't so good with the Parkinson's. They're a wee bit shaky sometimes. And Susan's like moving the trolley backwards, pulling it away from me. I don't get what she was trying to do.
She was trying to help, bless her.
Well, she didn't.
We went a few months ago when COVID restrictions were sort of easing a bit, and we bought an item, I can't remember where it was, and it was quite heavy, the same thing. And I was thinking, I'll never do that. And suddenly one of the lads came past and said, you must put in the trolley for it. Oh, yeah, would you mind? Oh, no, no bother at all. Put the 2 or 3 boxes in. Oh, that's great. Got to the car and I said to somebody, any chance of a hand at the car? No, we can't do that. Yeah. And I went, well, hang on, your mate inside did. No, not in the car, not in the car.
Oh, health and safety, Dave.
I just thought, I mean, I managed with flip the neck, it was, I know it's like it's hard work.
Alex has changed his username at last, so we know who it is.
Stop,
hope you're well, Alex. Right, Dave, it's time.
It's time.
What's your team?
Well, I've...
Oh, one second. One second.
Oh. Where's he gone? He's pressed the wrong button again, hasn't he, folks? That's what he's done. I'll wait. Is there? What did you do?
There's a button on the left-hand side of the mouse, and if I press it, it takes off the bloody thing. So,
anyway, and I'm the one with the bad technology flipping.
Look, it's because of me big fat fingers, right? I can't do anything about it sometimes. It's just a tiny little mouse. Luke, thank you for the £4.49 super chat. Love the show as always. Who would you want as left back? Oh, there's a question.
There's a long list.
Yeah. Never mind. I've lost a load of comments now as well for that. Just look at this, Julie saying, ask Susan, is he this grumpy walking around?
Julie, that's a good one.
Absolutely not. Listen, I'm always making, my personality, and I always try and make people laugh, and that's exactly what I do walking through IKEA. Even if
it doesn't always work.
I'm not very happy. Helen, good evening. Says, I'm still feeling positive. Transfers are key though to keep us up. Indeed, they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, go on, Dave. Before I cut the show off again.
Before we start, right? Well, obviously, I've got Dubs in goal again, as ever. I mean, he's the only one to. What was that? Oh my word!
She said yes, Julie. She's lying. And hang on, Kendo. IKEA is the living hell that never stops. You even have to build it when you get back with Swedish instructions. Thank you, Kendo.
I couldn't agree more. You get this book and you go, what? You can't work
right, get on with your team anyway.
Oh, all right, okay. Calm down. Calm down. Right, okay. Dubs, I've gone for, and it'll not happen, but I've gone for Monquero. Is Fernandez fit? I don't know.
He's out. No. He's out till the new year.
All right, okay.
Till we sell him in January. Shaw's fit, yeah.
And Lewis is not fit, so that's him out. So I've got to go with Lascelles. Murphy could be fit. I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I'll stick Clark in because
Clark in where?
At the back. And I think he might.
Which position?
In the middle. It's not his right place, but I think with the injuries we've got. And he's quicker than Lascelles, not a lot, but he is quicker. And I think he might just shore that defence up. You can give me all the penalties you want, and it's my opinion. And am I wrong? Probably, but that's what I would do.
So you're going with 3 centre backs?
3 centre backs, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, and then I would have 5 in the middle. So I'd go with Fraser, Hayter, Shelby. I would have Joe Linton across that middle, and if ASM is playing, I'd have him up front with Wilson. So that's sort of 3-5-2 formation.
Who did you say up with Wilson?
ASM.
He's injured, man.
Is he? Yes. Well, is he? We don't know. Well, if he's fit, I'd play him. If he's not, I'd push Joe Linton.
If he plays tomorrow, right?
It'll be
if he plays tomorrow, he was not injured at Liverpool. He was just wanting to come off. It's as simple as that. You don't recover that quickly.
No. I mean, he ran around a lot, which
But the way he limped off that pitch, Dave. If he's playing tomorrow, he just took the huff.
You're absolutely right, Paul. I couldn't agree with you more. However, how many times have we seen him drag himself to his feet and he'll hobble and limp and go, oh, God, I'm knackered. And then a minute later, he's away on a major run going like a bloody bite out of hell.
And if that's his attitude, it stinks.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to argue with you. You're absolutely right. I mean, he's done it a few times to me, So that's what I would do. I mean, would I play Gale? No. Gale's not quick enough. But, because of injuries and whatever, he could come on. My big worry is that Wilson gets injured, and then we're knackered because we need to win or get something out these next 3 or 4 games before the window opens.
Yeah,
and we've got to at least stay in touch. I mean, Leeds getting beat today is a big help to us because it gives our lot hope. They got another, -3, so that goal difference is getting less and less. And that's, as I said the other week, that's my biggest worry at the minute. Points is one thing, but the goal difference is terrible. And and again, as I said last week, when Rafa was here, and I'm just comparison, our goal difference was never that bad. It was a few goals. It was never like, thanks, Kendo.
I want to know how you've gone from a king to a lord. I mean,
don't know.
Unless you're both. I mean, that probably
could be Lord King of Northumberland.
Luke says Connor Cody could be on the way. Apparently sent representatives to see him. Well, that's wrong, Luke, because I haven't been sent to see him yet. So I can't agree with that. No. Robert would go with a 4-4-1-1, but unfortunately a 5-1 defeat. Is ASM the new Sissoko?
No, I don't think so. I would hope not. Mine Sissoko's not pulling any bloody trees up at the minute.
Well, he's not, no. I'd have Almiron in for his work rate. We're going to be without the ball. Look, Tony, I'm sorry to disagree with you, buddy, but look, we need to stop this thing about, we'll have Almiron in for his work rate, because work rate alone will not get you anything from a football match. It really won't. He just doesn't do anything.
No, it's that final. It's the same as the ASM, Paul.
Yeah,
you run past 8 players and we're going, all of this, wow, oh, you lost it again. And
I understand what Tony means, though. I mean, his work rate is fabulous. You can't ever fault his work rate, but
you can't.
It's the other stuff that goes with it that I can't really. I can't.
It's frustrating. It is, because you look at these players. The sort of flair players like ASM and Willock and Almiron, and you think these guys have got what it takes to be superstars in this league, and they're just not doing it now. They didn't do it under Bruce. They're not doing it yet under Eddie. He may work well with them, but we haven't got the time to do that. And if we get a few players in the window, it might well be that they'll realise that it's that final bit.
Yeah,
it's letting them down. They're 85% brilliant, 15% bloody rubbish at times.
Well, I don't. Neil says you've been demoted from a king for suggesting Kieran Clark starts.
That's fair enough.
That's a good
fair
point.
enough. Fair enough.
Abdullah says we're going to get pumped by United. Okay, we'll see. Kendo says we need to get behind ASM. He plays to the crowd and our best midfielder. Yes, but he hasn't done it lately. He hasn't done it for the last 6 or 7 games.
Don't get me wrong, guys. Watching it, I love him to bits. I love watching these mazy runs when he hits a ball and it goes in the back of the net. And sometimes some of his shots, think, how did he do that? And it goes in the back of the net. And he does his backflip. Absolutely love it. But he doesn't do it enough. And that's, at the minute, that's what we need. We need him firing on all 4 cylinders, him and Willock and Almiron all the time, and having that final ball that gets into the penalty area. And we might not score, but at least we have a decent chance. That's not happening at the minute, and it's frustrating as hell, because he's certainly a talent. There's no getting away from it.
Definitely. Stephanie says, you two are bloody hilarious.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not trying to joke around. I'm just on with an old folk. I can't help it. You know what I mean? I have to try and make him laugh, Steph. You know what I mean?
Care of the community. That's what it is, Paul.
Exactly. Nigel says, Cody linked with Chelsea today. Shut up, Nigel. How dare you even insinuate that?
I never saw that.
Ryan says, we should go and buy Dave's son from Leeds.
Yeah,
yes, Harrison at Leeds. He's a decent player.
He's not a bad player. Yeah.
Ian says, miracles happen at Christmas. Look at Jesus. Wow, okay. Listen, we have Jesus in the squad. We should maybe try him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tony, please, man. All Joe Linton does is graft now, and he's our best player apparently. Look, he does more than graft, mate.
Yeah.
None of our players have end product at the moment. That's true.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Susan says Dave needs a throne. Chipper says cheers, Monty and Paul. There you go.
You back
right,
that,
my team for tomorrow.
Come on then.
I will go with Dubravka in goal. I want to see. I'm going for a back 4 again. I want to see a 4-3-3 formation tomorrow. I'd like to see Mankio in on right back. Left back, we've only got Richie, so we're going to have to put him there. There's nothing we can do about that. In the middle, same two, Lascelles share. Across the middle, I want to see Hayden, Shelby, and Joe Linton in the 3. Up front, Fraser on the left, Wilson in the middle, and on the right, I'm going to want to see Jacob Murphy.
Oh, okay.
That's
not a bad call.
Because, listen, I would have VSM in the team had I known he's fit, but if he is fit, then something clearly wasn't right on Thursday night with him just desperate to come off the pitch. So, again...
Well, he did this 3 or 4 times, which annoyed me because it's not up to him, and if he's injured, he goes down and he stays down.
Well, he one coming off, by the way. Originally, it was Fraser who was coming off for Wilson, and then, obviously... ASM started rolling his hands around saying, take me off, I have run out of garlic.
Yes, I'm not very well. So...
I'm not very well. I need to come off the pitch. Whatever. Get on with it. John says, I'm a Brummy Villa fan, but would love to see you get a result tomorrow. Well, thank you very much.
Sorry, Kenny.
It is. It's not often we have Villa fans hoping we win. Paul says, I've just driven down south to visit the in-laws without tolls or speeding fines, so I've missed most of it tonight. Has Paul been witty and entertaining, or has Dave carried him like usual?
Paul, that's brilliant.
Paul, next time you come over and say hello before a game, right? I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm going to punch you right in the middle of the face.
You'll not, Paul. You'll not. At least you didn't get it.
Oh, no, but it's all right for you to punch people, isn't it, Harrison?
Well, that's acceptable for me to do.
Well, it's not, considering people go bowing down to you, and then I get punched in the arm just because people are bowing down to the great one. My God. Honestly. Keith's calling us the 2 Ronnies. I want nothing to do with it. I don't know.
No.
Never mind.
Which is which, though? That's the thing.
Did you give a score prediction, Harrison?
Not yet. No, I was going to
go on then.
I'm going to do heart and head again. Heart says a Desmond, and head says 4-1 again.
Oh, why is your heart saying a Desmond? I mean, that involves scoring twice, Dave.
I'll look at what we've done with them over the last few years up here. We haven't had an awful record against them. It's not good, but it hasn't been over. And I just think we might sneak something. But at the end of the day, it's City, and are bloody brilliant, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Finally, somebody having a little dig at you. Luke says, can someone let the nurse know it's late? And Dave's out his bed.
I love it, yes.
Yeah.
She's on her way.
Nigel says, good shout, Paul, but I would swap Hayden for Miggy and put Miggy behind Wilson. Best position to run a defence, plus he can defend. Andre says, Paul, that's a good lineup. Come on the Toon. So there you go. I mean... Score-wise, we're getting a few in just before we go. Robert says 3-1 City. Alan says 2-1 Newcastle. We have too much quality. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well said, Alan.
Listen, I can't see... I think 4-0 City tomorrow. Look,
I would love... scoring.
It would be incredible if we can win the game. Absolutely incredible if we beat them tomorrow. I mean, the scenes... in the ground would be amazing if we can turn City over tomorrow. But I just, I have to let my heart rule, my head rule my heart, and I can't see anything else. But you never know. Moggy says 2-2. Tony says 2-0 City. Nigel's going 5-2 City. Chippers is going 4-0 City. 2-3 K. You can't keep changing your score, mate. Shanyo, good. Bloody hell, it must be in the mid. It must be the. Christ. Yeah, it'll be morning over there. Good morning, matey. Shanio City 4-1 could be worse than England score at the Ashes. That's very true. Moggy, I'm not putting you another score up. You've already had 2. You kind of keep changing it like this.
It's written in principle. If he gives 10, one of them might be right.
John says you've got to love Dave. Well, somebody has to, don't they? You know what I mean? He's,
that's nice.
He's sitting all alone in that care home tonight, It's a good lineup against Plymouth Argyle. Kurt says 5-0. Seth's going 2-1 Newcastle.
Wow, Seth.
There will be penalties to City probably tomorrow. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Whatever the result, the home crowd will carry them.
Yeah.
4-0 City, says Toon. Luke says we should get the King of Saudi to phone the Man City owners and tell them no more than 5 goals or there'll be war. Wow. Susan's going 1-1, even though she hasn't got a Scooby about football. Jerry says 7-0
to us.
Chipper says, is Dave on the throne tonight? I bloody hope not.
No, he's on his old rocking chair in the bedroom. I got kicked out of downstairs because Strictly was on.
Strictly.
And I said to Dot, are you going to watch it upstairs? She says, no, you are. I always go upstairs. And okay, then. So I'm upstairs in the bedroom.
Yes.
So
Do what the Queen of Northumberland demands.
Absolutely.
She'll get them henchmen to have your head off.
It's those two words that all husbands should use all the time. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Yeah, I know all about that. Evening, Susan. 8:20 a.m. over in Australia. Ian says 17-0 Newcastle. Wow. Kendo says J7, the Jordi Aguero to score brave tomorrow. I think he means a brace. Mike Dean, brace for Man City. Well, he's not refereeing. Thank God. A proper spanking 4-0, says Jason. Ryan says 0-1 Newcastle. Really? I can't see it, mate. I can't see it. Oh, hang on. He's changed it to 2-1 Newcastle. Well, make your bloody mind up. Moggy's back with another one. All seriousness, though. 4-0 to Newcastle. Joe Linton hat-trick and a Lascelles 50-yard screamer. He can't even kick the ball 50 yards, man.
Yeah, you said that the other week, and it didn't work. But never mind.
No, it didn't.
If you'd said Shelby 50-yard screamer, I might have believed
failed
it.
Miserably. Alex says, I'm terrified of Mahrez at the moment. Last 5 matches is Ballon d'Or quality. He looks frightening to defend against. Scott's going 2-2. Yeah. What's Bradbury with now? Martin Atkinson will ensure results for City on the slight chance that they don't batter us anyway. Ashley's going 3-0 City. 1-0 Toon, says Geordie Ian. 2-2, says Helen.
There's a few going for a Desmond, mind.
I know. Ian's going 3-0. Trolls isn't predicting for tomorrow's game. Just don't want to write that high of a number. Bet John has been watching Strictly. You're damn right he will have. 9-0 Man City. The ref gets a hat-trick, says Ian. 10-2, says I like coffee. Jesus Christ.
Is that to us or them?
I hardly think it's to us, to be fair.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Neil says happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, true.
2-1 for the Toon. Stu says match will probably be postponed at the last minute. Let's not.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Good evening, Dougie, mate. 4-3 for Newcastle. Come on. And just a public apology to Doug, because I was supposed to go on his channel at 11:30 yesterday morning to do a.
And you forgot.
No, I didn't forget. I was asleep. To do a review of the game, so I publicly apologise as well, mate. Yeah, he's a good lad, and he did understand, because I didn't even know where I was when I woke up. It was very, very, it was afternoon by the time I got myself pulled round. But never mind.
Can I just say something to Stu?
Yeah,
I don't want it called off 10 minutes before the kick or whatever it is now before, because I want to get in and see the ground without the bloody sports director signs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't think it'll be called off.
No. Unless there's a schedule.
Unless there's an outbreak overnight, which there's a chance of that, but I can't see it.
No.
But there you go, guys. That has been the match preview for you all tonight. Thank you so much to everybody that's tuned in. Yeah. Well over 300 watching all the, most of the show, which is tremendous. Absolutely brilliant. If you have enjoyed the show and you haven't yet done so, please do hit the like button. And also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button or consider subscribing to try and get us to 7,000 subscribers over the festive period. Yeah. And then we will have a little mastermind session with the old bugger next to me there, asking me some personal questions.
In 1947, who scored the 3rd goal?
No, and it's not going to be them kind of questions, Dave. But listen, I'll have to talk to Dave face to face, because he doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about. So, most of it goes over his head anyway. But thank you very much for all your comments as well. We love you taking part in the show and getting your opinions across. And also to everybody that's super chatted tonight, thank you so much for donating to the channel. You don't realize how much that does help. And obviously, especially to Michael with his huge donation again. But thank you to each and every one of you for donating. It's very, very kind of you. But that has been the match preview. Now, will we be back tomorrow night, Dave, with a review of the game?
Probably have to be, because
maybe about 8:30.
Yeah, we'll have to, because Monday will be the. Or is it not? It's not the Horseman on Monday, is it?
No, it's not the Horseman. It's the transfer rumour mill.
The gossip one
on Monday,
and then Tuesday's Fan Forum. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to do it tomorrow night. Yeah,
we'll be back.
We'll chat, but we'll
Yeah, I mean, as long as the nurses let him out his room to do the show, we'll be fine. So We'll be back around 8:30. Just keep an eye on Twitter. Keep an eye on YouTube channel as well. We'll let you know what time. It'll be either 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Just give us time to get home and sort it out and everything like that. So
and sober it up, because when we've won 3-1,
well, yeah,
is there enough beer in the big
celebrations? Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much for watching the show, guys. We will catch you again with the review of the game tomorrow night. Come on, the lads. Bring something home at last. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you tomorrow night.
Good night, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.